You're listening to the Bryan and Gina Show, the official podcast of LA Magazine. Here are your hosts, Bryan and Gina.
Hello and welcome to the Bryan and Gina Show, the official podcast of Los Angeles Magazine. I am Bryan Bishop.
I'm Gina Grad.
Gina's got a week off the grid to disseminate to us, which is very exciting. Always nice to get away. I assume you stayed semi-local?
I did. I have a major tip for not only Angelinos, but anyone listening anywhere. This fits. This is something I've been staunchly against my entire adulthood, and I've done a complete 180 or 360.
You ended up in the same place. The same place. I like that. Okay, we got a big show, big announcement from me, and exciting. I don't know. We haven't done a back in our old iteration of the old show. I would do periodic medical updates. And I'm ready to bring one to the show for the first time.
Oh, amazing. Should we start with that? I'd love to.
I mean, we can.
That's
my non-committal way of saying sure.
If you're watching this online, this doesn't happen often. It's definitely my fault. You can set your clock to Bryan wearing a collared shirt. Mm-hmm. Not so much me. Today I decided to go a little spunky and sporty with a polo. Bryan and I look like we are part of the same wait staff.
We've come to your door to sell you Bibles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
like knockoff Bibles, like our version. Like this is the real version.
Right. The King Bryan Bible.
Yeah. Did you know they left chapters out?
All right, so for anyone who might be new or joining us, why don't you tell us why you have a medical update? Sure.
I imagine most people are aware, just having followed us over from our previous show, the Adam Carolla show. But for the last 14 plus years, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor 14 and a half years ago, and have been getting treated for it, battling it, living with it on and off for the last 14 plus years. And it's been a crazy journey, and lots of people have followed along. I wrote a book about it, and shockingly to me, it's really helped people, and they've responded to it. So I feel some responsibility to keep people abreast of developments and what goes on, because people are invested. And I every time I meet a listener, whether it's on the street or anywhere, generally the first question or included in the 90-second conversation is like, how you feeling? How you doing these days? How you feeling? People, they want to know. And I understand that it's not as easy for everyone, especially now, we're so much working remotely, to listen to podcasts every single episode, every single day. So, they dip out a little here, a little there, they're back in, and they don't want to know what's the latest.
Yeah, and just not to add unnecessary drama, I think this is necessary drama.
Okay.
The idea of a brain tumor is obviously scary. Just those two words together is very scary. Bryan said, "Hold my beer." And it is in a part of his, skull, head, that is inoperable. So at the beginning of this, if you haven't followed us over, clinicians like our good buddy Dr. Drew said, "Ooh, this is not a good one." But you have beaten all of the odds for 14 years. You are our miracle baby.
It's crazy to be living on borrowed time for 14 years and to be cheating death on a regular basis. And I just, it's such a part of my existence that I forget, if you're just tuning in and this is new to you. Yeah, I was initially given 6 months to a year when I was diagnosed, 14 years ago. And obviously that's come and gone many times over, which is great news. And it's funny. I think it was last night I was watching, Drew sat down with us for an interview for the documentary, talking not just, how he met me and the diagnosis and everything, but also like his relationship to oncology, to cancer, how it used to be, when he was studying in medical school in the 1970s, it's just, he was like, why would you do this to yourself? Why would you go into oncology? It was such a hopeless dead end, like you're going to meet people and they're going to die and it's terrible. Right. And how do you live with that? And he's like, it's come so far that he's like, if I was just starting out, I'd probably be into oncology. Like it's such an exciting. So it's funny that you mentioned the inoperable thing. I don't think you and I have talked about this too much. So you've stumbled into an exciting area. So my update is it's mostly exciting. It's kind of scary, but it's all. I think you'll see what I'm talking about. So where do I begin? So I'll just cut right to the chase. A week from tomorrow, I record this on Tuesday, next Tuesday, I'm going to have a brain biopsy. And that was
what?
That was I was explicitly told by multiple doctors and professionals back in 2009 when I was diagnosed, your tumor is inoperable. We can't even biopsy it because the risk is too great. It's right nestled in my cranial nerves, which controls everything from blinking to breathing to walking. So
breathing?
Yeah, if they were to nick one of those, that could be bad news. Well, fast forward 14 years, and the technology has improved quite a bit to the point where a biopsy is like on the table, and also compounding the issue in a good way is that my tumor over 14 years has like shifted ever so slightly into the cerebellum, which is a much less risky area to biopsy. It's pretty common actually, and so. My doctor, and again, this is a very specific confluence of events. There's a new medication that just came on the market, as it were, for brain tumors, specifically for low-grade gliomas, which is what I was diagnosed with, that have a very specific mutation, a type 1 or a type 2 mutation. One of those two, it's shown remarkable efficacy against these specific types of mutation for brain tumors. They have no way of knowing if I have these mutations because I can't biopsy until now. Now they can go in and get a small amount of tissue and see if I have these mutations. So, there's no guarantees, there's no promises, but if I was to have one of these two mutations that shows just incredible, I don't read medical literature as a hobby, but the little I did read, the outcome, the average survival rate for people with these types of tumors is like triple or quadruple what it would normally be with like regular, chemo and radiation. So it's it's not the cure we were all waiting for, but it's a bit of a game changer. And here we are. 14 years later, my father-in-law, when I first got diagnosed, he was born with like heart issue, aortic valve, needed to be replaced, and they couldn't do anything at the time. This is 1952 or whatever it was, and so they cut him open, they sewed him back up, and in 2012, he went to the Cleveland Clinic and got this, this crazy procedure done, saved his life or extended his life, and he said to me, "You don't have to beat this thing right away. You just have to live long enough to, for the technology to get to a place where it can save you." So maybe we're there. It's exciting. It's scary. I mean, I'm literally having brain surgery. Granted, it's a biopsy, but it's exciting. It's scary. It's all those things.
Okay. That's incredible. That was just a lot of news. So everyone just take a second, push pause, let that wash over you. Sorry that this is my first question, but since we don't know if it's going to work until it happens, can we refer to it as Schrodinger's CAT scan?
Oh, that's not bad.
Thank you.
I like that.
I just wanted to get that out of the way so I could ask the real questions. When you talk about things that are, 14 years into the future, which, 14 years from now, I mean, things just, whiz by in terms of technology. I picture this as, doctors in maybe a side room controlling some sort of machinery. Do you know if that's going to be the case?
It's a little bit of both, as I understand it. It's computer guided, which means there is a surgeon working the instruments, but he is guided by lasers or whatever, computers.
Oh, that's cool. I see. So it's more like he'll see like the crosshairs or whatever.
Yeah. So my procedure is at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. I have to get there at 5:15 for all the prep and everything. It's pretty early. But the day before, and actually, I was thinking about this because this may impact our show. The day before, I'm getting an MRI, but I'm getting a special kind of. I've had 100 MRIs. I'm getting a special kind where they are going to map where they're going to point those lasers, the grid basically. And so I'm going to have stickers on my head for 24 hours. I think they'll be back here where the procedure is going to be done in my brainstem, but they may be all around. So I don't know.
I'm going to need multiple stickers, and I'm going to need to make a request that they're like My Little Pony, maybe happy faces.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Okay. You just see
like
if that's
a little Microsoft finger just pointing to where the laser goes.
Exactly. And I'm sure your daughter would appreciate that.
Totally.
So I feel like I've hold on, I'm not done with my questions.
Okay.
What is the recuperation process for this?
They don't know. No one's been very definitive with me about that, which leads me to believe your mileage may vary. I've been told I'm going to be in the hospital overnight. So, they're going to discharge me the next day, which is encouraging. And they say, some people have told me, oh, you'll be up and around in a couple of days. And then some of them told me like, oh, yeah, you could be recovering for up to a month, but I don't know what recovering means. That could just be, you know what I mean?
Not driving.
Like, yeah. Exactly. Blurry vision. I have no idea. I'm hoping to be up and around within a few days by the end of the week because, I'm not looking forward to a super sedentary a week after I get that done. But yeah, so I'm hopeful for the best.
That's incredible. If we're just going on odds, and I know you like some odds with your gambling addiction.
I've been known. How dare you?
If history tells us anything about you, you do very well with new medicines and new technology. So
that's true.
Feel very good about this.
Thank you. I feel good about it too. I mean,
great.
It's a weird place to be, excited, but also a little bit nervous. By the way, if you do, nick one of my cranial nerves, and I forget that, I forget who you are, and we have to start over. It's been nice knowing you.
Agreed. And you know what? This would be a nice opportunity for me to take on a new persona.
Yeah, totally. Start fresh.
I'm Hildy. Nice to meet you. I think this is going to be awesome. I'm sure I'll be talking to your wife because, no offense, I talk to her more than I talk to you. And
which is hard to do. We talk for a couple hours each week.
Yeah, this is exciting. Now you've made me feel like a real a-hole, no pun intended, because I'm putting off a colonoscopy and I'm just going to think, you know what? If Bryan can have a brain surgery, I can have a camera up my ass.
I had to meet with a general practitioner, which I don't have, by the way. My oncologist is my doctor. Anything that happens to me goes through him. But for the surgery, they set me up with just an appointment with some random GP, and he's running me, there's blood pressure and whatever, all the regular tests. And he's asked me questions. He's like, when was your last colonoscopy? I'm like, have yet to have one. So maybe I'm overdue if you're asking me, but I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I think we should have dueling colonoscopies and do the show right afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And when we're all messed up and compare notes.
And we can do the burger taste test on the same episode.
You know what? I know you think that's a joke, but I know I've taken 3 people to their colonoscopies and dropped them off, and 2 of them requested burgers on the way home.
Really?
So yeah, because you're starving.
Yeah, you gotta fast or whatever, right?
Yeah. So we should put a pin in that for later. But okay. I feel really excited for you. This is really this is it. I mean, it's going to sound funny to say this in 15 years, but we live in the future, and we live 14 years into your future.
Yeah, I mean, and stepping back a little bit, you're 100% right, but it's been a frustrating 14 years because things do move incrementally. It's like evolution. It's like things move very incrementally until there's a leap. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing for 10 years and there's something. So over the last 14 years, like when I had a tumor recurrence, beginning of COVID, it was like, okay, we're going to put you on these 2 types of chemotherapy. I'm like, we're still doing chemo all these years later. This is the best we can do. And it was so frustrating. Like, is there not some better option? So now it's exciting that maybe there is.
Well, thank you for telling us, and let us know what we can do. I could do a sock puppet if you're not feeling well, and just do like a Bryan and Gina show like this.
There you go. I mean, if Gary's, feeling ambitious, he can just cut up some clips and respond via drop.
I've been talking to you every day for over a decade. I'm pretty sure I could cobble something together that sounds like you.
Yeah, if you think about it, you and I have been speaking into microphones for so long, they could take our voices and digitally, have us read Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly. I want Gary to focus on like, you're right, Gina. Sounds good. This is so great. I cannot wait to hear about everything. And we're here. We're
Exciting.
Not going anywhere. Yeah, very. Woo, okay.
Well, how about some levity?
Let's get leavened. As the Jews say on Passover. So I'm going to tell you, this is for the ball tickle from earlier. I was 100% against forever the idea of a staycation. I mean, I get it when you're like hanging out at your house and you're like, it's a staycation, but spending money to rent a house or a hotel or something in the area that you live, people do it.
That sounds awesome.
To me, I was just like, why are you spending your money? I mean, you could just be at home. Like, I don't get it. You're not in a new location. You're not learning anything new.
You're not seeing the sights.
No, you're not seeing the sights. You may be going to the same restaurants. You're looking at the same freeways. Why would you spend money on that?
Okay.
And to be honest, I agreed with myself until my one of my best friends from college. We have been trying to get together for just a 2 girls, not a girls trip, a 2 girls, she and I, for literally 20 years. And, we see each other and stuff, but like, when are just
that sounds absurd.
It's true. Like, oh, are we going to go to Turks and Caicos? Do you want to go to Prague? These ideas come and go. Life happens. We finally put our foot down and she said, I'm coming to you.
Where is she in the world?
She's in New York City. She's the makeup artist to the stars. She's the one that does all the movies, keys all the movies. And she said, I'm coming to you. I said, great. When? She said, July. I said, that sucks because, we're generally desert people. And I'm not going to the desert in July. I'm not insane. So I thought, oh, shit, what are we going to do? So I start looking at places that are drivable. And I look at, like Santa Barbara, whatever. I've been there a million times. And I go on Airbnb and I go, let's just see. Because I have friends that have rented, houses that live down the street from Malibu, but like really a kick-ass house for a weekend just for fun. And I thought that seemed kind of cool. So I started looking and I didn't find a house. I found the house.
All right. I was going to say LA has no shortage of like kick-ass houses.
Oh, I found a house in Malibu, 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, on a cliff overlooking the ocean with a pool. It was absolute divinity. You must tune into the YouTube show right now so you can see these pictures.
Is that like rolling fog over the ocean?
Indeed, it is, Bryan.
I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, that looks right. Is that Corolla's old house?
Every single morning, it was like an ocean full of fluff. It was
like a Peloton commercial.
Yes. And I would think, how the hell high up are we? Like that we're this far above the clouds. It was idyllic. The house was beautiful. This is just one of the many views. I mean, my friend Sarah kept saying, I feel like we're in Tuscany. And then and then with ocean, and then the lighting would change. I go, I feel like we're in Bali. And it was
That's
so
great.
Scrumptious. I don't know how else.
That looks awesome. So we're looking at the backyard. That's the backyard that lets out to a great ocean view.
Yes, that was
great.
I don't even, we do this for a living, so I shouldn't say this, but I kind of don't even know how to describe it. Go to youtube.com/Los Angeles Magazine videos. youtube.com/Los Angeles Magazine videos, because these pictures, or go to at Gina Grad on Twitter and Instagram, because I posted a ton. But this to me was the money shot. This was the $1 million view. And
that's what you pay for, yeah.
Yeah. And so, she flew in across the country. I wasn't even going to fight with her. It wasn't even going to be a thing. I said, you flew all the way here. You get the master suite. That's not up for debate.
That's right. That's the price of having to come there.
Absolutely. Oh, and by the way, I think from that picture, you can tell you are so far removed from society. No ride share or cab would come
That's funny you mentioned. Oh, really?
None.
It's funny you mentioned that.
We
Where
looked.
so where in Malibu were you? Could you tell?
Okay, so I had no context until we went down one day, just to like Earth. But we were basically
Were you as far
maybe
as Pepperdine?
farther.
Okay, because
So
we were
I
there
was
yesterday, but we're down with the lowlanders.
Oh, please I don't even want to talk to you. We were maybe a mile or 2 miles. No, actually 4 miles up from Pepperdine and
Okay.
straight back in to the
Oh,
mountains.
beautiful. Nice.
And this particular property had a little vineyard, which, you would have scoffed at, but it was beautiful.
Hey,
And
no, you can make a case of wine a year. That's great.
yeah,
Private label.
exactly. It just acres and it was just outstanding. So there was a guest room and I was like, I'll sleep in there. But then I found a ladder.
Is there a loft?
I found a ladder that goes straight up to this, the only way I can describe it was like an Alice in Wonderland nook. And I said,
wow.
dibs, which was great because we were the only two people there. So I don't know if this.
Yeah, who are you announcing this to?
Just Sarah. There is literally a hole in the floor. So there was one night where we partied a little too hard and I didn't trust myself to not fall straight down into the first floor. But every other night, Gary, you can go ahead and put this picture up. This was the bedroom. This was my view.
Oh, wow.
And it was in an attic, like in a slanted ceilinged nook with a giant hole in the floor. And it was the most gorgeous sunrises. Granted, they were a little early because we didn't have curtains, but it was this was my view at truly probably 5 or 6 in the morning. So it was a little light,
great.
But it was just.
Oh yeah, no curtains.
No curtains. And I slept with the windows open. I said, you know what? If a bird flies in, a bird flies in. What are you going to do? Although at 2 a.m, one of the nights we did wake up on 2 different sides of the house because we think a bird did in fact fly in the window.
Fair enough.
But anyway, it was beautiful. The noises. I mean, it was a symphony of crickets and frogs all night. And I loved it. All day it was bunnies and lizards. At night it was crickets and frogs. It was outstanding.
You were amongst nature.
It was, yes. I mean, and yeah, are you going to get something, if you don't close the door fast enough, will someone want to scurry in and check out the house? Maybe, but that's kind of on you for not shutting the door.
Fair.
So every single day we worked very hard. I spent every single day horizontal on a raft in the pool. And every night, that was me every day, all day, which is why I look like I drained the tank at SeaWorld right now. I'm so puffy. All day. And I'm sorry, this is inappropriate, especially, but if we were talking about surgeries, how great do my boobs look?
I was going to say, this is a glamour shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. You look like you're modeling sunglasses.
Thank you. I had breast reduction surgery last year, and oh boy, I love taking these guys out for a test drive with these cheap, inexpensive, low swimsuits. Oh, the best.
Yeah, it opens up a whole new world.
Oh my God, they stay up on their own. So all day was pool and girl talk. I don't know what guys do when they're alone together, for 4 days, 5 days, but it was life.
Just grunt and drink beer.
This was life, struggles, culture, politics, movies, but in a raft, on a raft, in a donut, walking myself, being inside the inner tube, walking myself around the pool, talking about this stuff all day. And then at night, just, gourmet dinners because she happens to be nothing of a gourmet home cook and I didn't do shit.
Did you guys welcome any guests or was it just you two the whole time?
The last day we said, fine, one of our other really good friends, you can come. No, we did the last day because we really want to have this time just for us. That's what we were going for. But yeah, the last day, one of my dear friends, Becky, came up and it was awesome. But because Sarah is also a makeup artist and I wasn't going to rest until I exploited all of her talents, we did full glamour shot makeup for both of us. She did both of us. And then we just went around taking pictures of ourselves. I have a million. I just happen to think that one's cute. So
this looks like something from the pages of Rolling Stone or you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Vanity Fair.
I told her I was going for kind of a Barbie meets Vice magazine.
There you
go. With that really bad. I would say LA magazine, but this is not high quality enough for LA magazine.
I was gonna say no. I'm dialing it down a notch or two.
Yeah, this is a little more homespun. Otherwise, I would definitely call it LA magazine. But yeah, we tried our best to, do some cute shots and we had so much fun. So that was one of our days. The one day we ventured down, it was so she could actually touch sand because she doesn't live here.
Sure.
And then, of course, get some lunch at my favorite spot, which many of our listeners have taken my advice, I'm happy to hear, to Malibu Seafood.
That's right.
And you have to high five the lobster before you leave, or you didn't really go there. And yes, that's something I made up, but go ahead and just assume that's a rule.
That's lore as of now.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was just a beautiful, idyllic time. The only harrowing thing that happened was, thank God it happened after Sarah left. Talk about harrowing. We did find someone that would pick her up, but they almost canceled 3 times.
Wow.
So we just got lucky because she had to get out of town. I called the week effortlessly magical because it absolutely was. So I'm saying, please, wherever you live, there is a great spot in your state, in your area, in your region that you've been dying to check out, but you're like, why spend the money? I live here. Do it. We felt a million miles away.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like you're in the minority on that one because I think we've done staycations where it's like, oh, let's go to this hotel overnight that we've always wanted to go to, but what's the point? Because you live here,
Yeah, and I've never been able to get past the what's the point. And I know people do it all the time. I wasn't able to. So I have turned, again, a 360, as they say on Twitter.
Yep.
And now I feel the opposite way. The only thing, I wasn't going to mention this, but the only thing that was kind of hard, I really did see the circle of life. After Sarah left, I was like, I'm going to get in the pool one more time. I did. It was great. The second I was about to leave, I started hearing splashing. I was like, what in the hell is that? I moved around and a bird flew into the pool and couldn't get out. And I freaked out. And I was like, well, I can't just watch this bird suffer. So I'm trying to get it, get the raft underneath it. Finally, I'm like, what? I'm looking for broomsticks or something to help it. I grabbed my hat.
Smart. Good thinking.
Yeah, my now very diseased hat. And I tried my best. And I'm trying. I mean, I'm sitting. I can't get him in because he's flopping around. I scoop him in my hat and I turn him over right onto the cement, and I feel so good. And he literally, you know why they say belly up?
Oh no!
Right in front of me.
He had just you didn't perform Avian CPR.
I thought about it, not mouth to mouth, but I thought about doing chest compressions. This is a diseased bird. I shouldn't do it, but I tried, and it was pretty horrible. But then I was like, you know what? What a psychotic, evil asshole I would have been if I just watched it die in the pool. I had to try.
You'd have to live with yourself after that.
Yeah, I couldn't live with that. So I'll just tell you 2 quick things after we got home. First of all,
all the time in the world. Go ahead.
Good. If you have a kid that's kind of over you, go out of town for a week.
Yeah, tell me.
This kid, my stepson, has been my shadow since the second I got back.
Wow.
Now, it's like I pulled a Job on him. Like, oh, look at me. When I'm not here, how fun is it? Not so fun, huh? So he's just been my little cuddle guy. So, I mean, sitting on me, holding my hand, just the cutest. We took him for the first time, and kind of as a joke, a couple weeks ago to Dennys.
Okay.
It is now his favorite restaurant.
Made for 8-year-olds or whatever he is.
Perfect. 8. He's almost 8. He called the waiter over to say, and I quote, with a mouthful of food, "These chicken fingers are fantastic." So he's
compliments to the chef.
Exactly. So
send Denny out here.
We've gone 2 more times. So he wanted to surprise Andy. Oh, hold on. Sorry. He wanted to surprise Andy by playing Dennys.
Nice.
So he made a big sign, which I don't have a picture of, but it's a big Dennys sign. He and I had name tags. It said, "Hello, my name is," and it says, "Waiter, work at Dennys." He made them. And then he made menus. I have one here. Oh, and you go ahead. Show the picture, Gary. Sorry about that. He's taking Andy's order.
Are those laminated?
Yeah, we put tape over them to make them laminated.
I see.
He insisted I laminate them. So if you want to know what's on the menu, we have foods, hash browns, chicken fingers, frise, which I think is fries, salad, drinks, icy juicy, because that's what I call the juice that we have here, Diet Coke, water, Sprite, Prime, because kids are talking about Prime. Do you know what that is?
No, is it a drink?
Yeah, the kids won't stop. I don't know what he doesn't. He's not allowed to have it, but whatever.
Fresh squeeze Optimus Prime.
Yeah. And then for desserts, which is spelled deserts, this is my favorite: Skittles, yogurt, and he must have seen this on the actual menu because it says ice cream, and he drew a sold out sticker over it.
Oh, funny.
So I'm pretty sure that was probably like on the menu.
That's artists imitating life.
Exactly. So we played Dennys. He put a napkin over his arm. He asked if we had tuxedos. So he has a very different perception of what Dennys is. It's fine dining.
Unless like it's a Dennys, like, like in a university setting where it's like late night after your formal.
Yeah. No, this is the Dennys over on Sepulveda.
Yeah.
That's not the one. So we played Dennys. We've been playing a lot of Mega Man because that's his favorite video game right now, obviously with Mario. And then the last thing we did, I just have to say, we checked out another drive-in on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Electric Dusk Drive-In in Glendale because they were showing our collective favorite movie in this house, Back to the Future.
I don't think people really realize how great that movie is. I mean, it's beloved, but it's fantastic.
Thank you, because I was thinking to myself, if Brian goes Goonies on me,
no,
Back to the Future, I'm gonna freak out.
That's a masterpiece. That's funny because like Goonies or like, that's a bad example. Like It's a Wonderful Life is beloved. I would not hold that up as like great cinema. Same. But like Back to the Future is both beloved and just a fantastic, perfect movie.
No, I agree. Although John Mulaney has such a great bit about it, when you dissect it, it makes no sense. And like my favorite, he goes, so picture it. This teenage kid in high school his best friend is a disgraced nuclear physicist. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief to a degree.
Yeah, but it's great. We love it in this house. We love all of them. The kid loves 3. He's like, I love cowboys. Okay.
Number 3 gets crapped on a little bit, but it's enjoyable. I have no problem with number 3.
We're a big fan just in general in this house. This was an interesting setup because it was a drive-in. But if you didn't want to drive, you could sit on the AstroTurf up front. Okay. And we did that. We were the only ones. I didn't know that wasn't like a thing. So we brought our chairs. We sat right in front and we had a great time. In fact, before the movie, they showed this thing, like a short called like Scribbles to Scripts or something. And it went in depth about Eric Stoltz's filming of the movie.
Oh, yeah. If people don't know, he was the original Marty McFly, and they shot a number of scenes.
Yeah. And that was, I guess they originally wanted Michael J. Fox, but he had a conflict because of family ties. They started shooting with Eric Stoltz, who was, just in Some Kind of Wonderful with Leah Thompson, one of my favorite movies. And it just... He had no comic timing. He thought it was a very serious script. He hurt Tom Wilson, Biff, because he kept pushing him so hard and was just kind of like
physically.
Yeah, like Tom was like, "Can you not?" But he said Tom had bruises all over him. Like, there was a lot of friction on set. Okay. And they finally just had to pull the plug, and they told Michael, "You got to do it. You work your day job, and we will film nights and weekends." So the guy never slept.
Okay. Yeah, he worked. Yeah, he did the day on the TV show, nighttime. That's why there's so many night scenes in Back to the Future. Did you just realize that?
You just when you said it, yeah.
Yeah. Because think about how many things. Think about how many things. When you'll take time to think about it, but like how many things take place at night that could take place during the day, and things that take place during the day don't necessarily take place in daylight, like the school scenes, you know what I mean? In the hallway, like they show a lot of their stuff at nighttime.
You are blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my God. And then the other thing they said, which you don't really think about when you're just enjoying the movie, if you see a scene where, it's Michael J. Fox and somebody else, but it's just a tight shot on the other person, chances are that was the footage with Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, they're recycled. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so just so interesting. So then, the movie kicked in. We're having a blast. And I also learned there is a Southern California DeLorean Club because three DeLoreans showed up at this event, completely, fully outfitted as Back to the Future. Flux capacitors. You can see people dressed up as, Jennifer and Marty and even had like the jean jacket and the vest inside. 3 showed up to this little drive-in movie.
You know what I like? I like that the Jennifer I can see there on the right is matronly Jennifer.
She's an older woman.
Yeah, but she's like dumpy Jennifer, not the one at the end of the movie, the one at the beginning.
That's funny. Sure. Yes. The one from Back to the Future 2. Where you see,
I mean, this is the beleaguered one
yes,
at the beginning. You know, the car's been wrecked. Biff is, taking
correct.
advantage of them. She wished
Yes.
she's drink. I had the opportunity to watch a few scenes of that movie recently, and I'd forgotten how much she was drinking. Like she just like
Yes.
opens a bottle of vodka and
Pop
just
of.
yep, yep.
Yeah, here, we're gonna have to eat this alone. Your Uncle Joey didn't make bail again. Yeah, totally. So it was just so much fun. And Andy and I just kept looking at each other, being like, this kid has no clue how lucky he is.
Huh.
I mean, for a million reasons, but this was just like he's sitting in a drive-in movie with all the candy he could ever want. They're giving away free slices of pizza. He has 3 DeLoreans behind him. I mean, our minds would have exploded, but he's just like, it's just another night living in LA.
Yeah, and it's a real testament to that movie that I assume the kid likes the movie, even though how many references can he honestly understand? Like I imagine zero, of the actual
Yeah.
references, but it's such a well-made story that
Yes.
it transcends all those.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that, because I'll end by saying this made me think so much of my dad, because he would have said this, but this is also a you comment. So it's perfect that you mentioned that, because at one point afterwards I was thinking about it, I go, because they have a big scene going, oh, this Honeymooners, it's a classic. It's a
Yeah.
rerun. And the kid goes, what's a rerun?
Yeah.
And I go to my
That
stepson, I go,
Go
do
ahead.
you know what a rerun is? And he goes, no. And I go, you don't know what a rerun is for a completely different reason.
Yeah, that joke has now eclipsed itself.
That really messed with my head, because
Yeah.
I was like, I go, okay, when we were kids, you could watch it whenever it came back on. He's like, what do you mean when it came back on? And then we have to do the whole dance all over. We didn't have
Right.
internet. We didn't have stream. It doesn't
Oh
exist.
my God.
So it was so funny to think that the kid in the movie and my 7-year-old stepson in 2023 both don't know what a rerun is.
For different reasons.
Exactly. It really kind of hit me at that moment.
I think
So-
that's Wayne from the Wonder Years, who actually says the line, "What's a
Yep.
rerun?"
You 2 TVs, you must be rich.
No one
Yeah,
has 2 TVs.
He's just teasing. So anyway, that was my sort of crazy week. Thank you for indulging me.
Please, that was a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up with an exciting announcement?
Another one?
This is different, but I'll step on it myself by saying I've already announced this on Instagram, but this is new to you and maybe new to the audience. I was asked a few. I guess we're working on this now for a couple of months. I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the American Brain Tumor Association's national conference in September in Chicago, and of course I said yes. And I think they don't have a good understanding of who I am, because
Sure.
they were so shocked that they expressed genuine surprise and shock that I responded so quickly and said yes. I was like, of course, yeah. I'd be foolish not to.
Where did they think you had to be?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you think I have to do? So, this is the first year they're doing it in person after 2 or 3 virtual years because of COVID. Obviously, brain tumor patients probably shouldn't be mingling during a global pandemic.
Sure.
And so, they're getting back together. This is the 50th anniversary of the organization. And so I'm very honored that they even thought to ask.
This is huge. So you're literally going to be in front of, God knows, a sea of humanity. And telling your story?
Yeah, I'm going to mold it, obviously, to, it's interesting. It is interesting because a lot of people, both in the organization and otherwise, are like, yeah, just tell your story and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but everyone here has a story. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's 400 people in person.
Good
God
point.
knows how many streaming live. It'll be streamed live, by the way. They've all got a story. I don't see mine as very remarkable.
That's interesting because you are so accustomed to being sort of an ambassador to this issue and educating people who don't understand it. This is completely different.
Yeah, I'm talking to my people. I'm preaching to the choir.
Wow, that's really interesting.
But either way, I'm excited. I'm honored. The biopsy that I'm going through popped up obviously down after. Yeah, there's the announcement. after after I agreed to do it. But I feel like I'll be recovered. I think it's like 5 weeks beforehand. I don't see that as being a huge hindrance.
No. And if anyone will understand, it's these 400 people.
That's a really good point.
So I assume this will be on September 9th, the second day of the conference?
No, it's actually the first day. Keynote.
Oh, you're opening. I see.
Yeah, kicks off the ceremonies. So September 8th, if you're in the Chicago area and you have a fondness for brain tumors, a hankering.
Or if you're at home and you just kind of want to see what happens, I can't wait to stream this.
Yeah, you can stream it, which the conference is free, by the way. So all you have to do is register and show up.
That is incredible. My God. And thank you, by the way. You had 2 really huge announcements today. Thank you so much for doing them in that order.
Sure.
Because what a horrible way to leave.
Yeah, seriously. This is a exciting, positive note to end on. I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I've done versions of this, so many times, telling my story or talking about, brain tumors or whatever, that I imagine it'll be a pretty welcoming crowd.
2 quick questions. Yeah. Will you show them some of like the sizzle reel from your documentary?
So that is breaking news because, yes, the idea that I floated to the ABTA powers that be, I was like, by that time, I think I'll be able to have like a good, trailer or something to show people. So yeah, then they're like, oh my God, they're just so excited. We're going to shoot some stuff there, and it's going to hopefully be a nice ending to our project. And it'll be a nice 360, as you say.
Yeah, 360. This is amazing because we've kind of talked about this on and off the air, how, a documentary, the vibe, sort of what you want it to be about, but you never really know where it's going, especially when you're shooting something in live time. And you didn't know that you were going to be asked to do this. And I'm going to get choked up. Like, if this is sort of the conclusion to the documentary, you being a keynote, you couldn't have known that was how.
No, and I mean, there's so much. I forget how we put it over on my show, The Film Vault, but we watched so many documentaries, and the key, any great documentary, I'm not saying mine is, but I'm saying if I'm aspiring to be a great documentary, it has to have 3 things. It has to have access to the subject, obviously, something else, and then luck. You have to have the good fortune of, this thing happened that you didn't expect to happen, or you got, this event, whatever. The fact that my brain tumor recurrence wasn't on the table when I was initially doing this, and then this popped up, and it's like, this feels like a nice close to this chapter.
Wow, that is perfect. I'm so happy for you for so many reasons, micro and macro, and we're just going to continue to follow along. And while you go through the big stuff, I'll take care of the bullshit.
That's perfect. Yeah, they have like a professional film crew out there who are going to document it anyway, for their purposes, and they're going to let us have and use the footage. Perfect. And so we'll have a nice little bookend.
That is such great news. I love that. I love that. Of course, you would never, that would be insane to leave that on the cutting room floor, as it were. So this is perfection. This is fantastic.
It's a mitzvah? Yeah, b'shert. There you go.
B'shert, as our people say. It's a strike of luck. All right. Well, good. Let's leave before I say something insane, and then we have to bring the mood back up again.
Yeah, seriously. All right, thanks you guys for listening. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for interacting with the show. If you want to see Gina's glamour shots, you can. I would recommend you go to her Instagram at Gina Grad, my Instagram at Paul Bryan. And before we leave, you want to toss it over to Alex and Ani?
Oh, my sweet, sweet Alex and Ani. Yes, here we go.
Jewelry is having a big moment right now, and with hundreds of products popping up in your feed every day, it can be hard to find a brand you trust. Alex and Ani has been creating meaningful jewelry for over 20 years, designing pieces that connect you with all of life's important moments. With an emphasis on value, there's truly something for everyone. You might be most familiar with their signature charm bangle. This bracelet literally created the category of meaningful jewelry and had you stacking charms from your wrist to your elbow. This piece is an icon for a reason. Completely size inclusive, each bracelet is adorned with a symbol designed to tell your story and express your unique style. Beyond the bangle, you'll find stylish, affordable jewelry for every occasion, from classic pieces to bold statement looks. Don't know where to start? Alex and Ani makes it easy to unpack the trends you're after and sprinkle in your personality too. Each piece comes with a personalized message and meaning, truly making it the perfect gift. You can take comfort in knowing that you're shopping with a socially conscious brand as well. To date, Alex and Ani has donated over $60 million to nonprofits worldwide, connecting fashion and philanthropy in an easy, fun, affordable way. Visit alexandani.com right now to discover the confidence that comes with a perfectly accessorized piece of jewelry. Right now, Alex and Ani is offering our audience 20% off with code MIDAS at checkout. Again, head to alexandani.com, that's alexandani.com, and use code MIDAS at checkout for 20% off your order.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Alex and Ani, for being a part of the show. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'm talking to you, the listener. I'm talking to you, Gina Grad. Thank you for being a part of the show.
Sure,
and I'm looking forward to talking to you all soon. See ya.
Thank you for listening to The Bryan and Gina Show. To get in touch with the hosts or buy their books, hit them up at @BaldBryan and @GinaGrad on Twitter and Instagram, or by email at podcasts@lamag.com. To get connected with LA Magazine, hit them up at @LAMag on Twitter and Instagram. Talk soon.